The art and architecture in the Maya lowlands are completely disconnected from the other side of the world that I talked about in the last episode. This was actually the original inspiration for my interest into this subject, as it was brought up while I was there for an archaeological study abroad. And here, I'm focusing more on their importance because their meaning also connects to public works. My name's Renee. You're listening to Detours in Archaeology, and today we are looking back at geometric designs and discussions of the open lattice, part 2. The lattice design is one of the major motifs in the Puuc architectural style, which got its name from the Puuc region in the Mexican state of Yucatan on the northernmost area of the Yucatan Peninsula. The word Puuc comes from the Maya word for hill or low range of hills. Since the Yucatan is mostly flat, this term was used to refer to the large hills in the southern part of the state known as the Puuc region or Puuc Hills. These hills extended into northern Campeche and western Quintana Roo. This architectural style began at the end of the late Classic period around 600 to 900 CE, but experienced its greatest extent during the Terminal Classic period from 8 to 925 CE. Key sites like Uxmal, Kaba, Labna, and Sahil displayed this style using local materials and advanced engineering. This architectural form developed due to environmental and cultural influences, with the limestone landscape allowing for the complex structures and serving as a means for elite to express their identity and power. The detailed stonework, decorative friezes, and unique Maya arch shows a high level of architectural skill that balanced beauty and strength. This style's most distinct characteristic is its innovative construction technique, which utilized a concrete core faced with carefully cut veneer stones. The lower portions of the building typically featured smooth, unadorned walls punctuated wide doorways, while the upper facade displayed intricate stone mosaics that alternated between geometric patterns and elaborate figurative sculptures. This technical advancement moved beyond early Maya construction methods, which relied on larger stone sets set in lime and mud mortar, allowing for more stable and spacious interior rooms. The many ceremonial buildings highlight the importance of religious practices in Mayan society, supported by various ritual deposits which were found during archaeological fieldwork. The Puuc architectural styles reflects the Maya's close relationship with their environment and their beliefs about the cosmos. The buildings were aligned with celestial events, and their decorative symbols revealed their strong knowledge of astronomy and its connection to mythology. This style provided a space for cultural expression, featuring deities and mythological stories that were key to Maya social life. Features like intricate mosaics and decorative elements such as masks and serpents display the artistic values and cultural identity of the Maya people. As the Puuc region was known for its dense settlements, showing a complex social and political structure, the arrangement and design of the buildings reveal connections among various groups, helping us understand Maya politics and economics. It is also possible that the organization of Puuc sites reveals a significant and a sophisticated grid pattern incorporating both practical and cosmological considerations, like the lattice design itself. In addition, cities were often arranged along north-south axes, as evidenced by structures like the Sakbe, meaning raised causeway, that can be seen at Sahil. This architectural layout facilitated both commercial and religious activities, connecting various urban centers through a network of communication routes, and with its extremely dense housing population spanning from one city to the next. The most significant sites within this network include Uxmal, Kaba, Sahil, and Labna, each contributing to the region's architectural vocabulary while maintaining distinct characteristics. The lattice design itself is called celosía simple by art historian Marta Fonserrada Moreno. Fonserrada Moreno says that lattice patterns serve two decorative purposes. First, they provide a background for other designs and images, and second, they give dynamic flowing quality to the building's exterior. This pattern is created like a Maya woman adding cross-stitching designs to woven cotton fabric, making small X's one stitch and one row at a time. Each stone stitch reflects how crossed string lies on and goes through the weave of cloth or clothing. The geometric patterns on buildings would have been almost transcribed from textiles. Many of these symbol patterns could tell stories about the cosmos, general mythology, and local legends, like those on the buildings of the nunnery quadrangle at Uxmal. Building types, alignments, and decorative elements were designed to correspond with astronomical events like solstices and equinoxes. This architectural celestial relationship emphasizes the cosmos' role in Maya life, influencing agriculture, rituals, and the social structure to remind people of the divine order governing the universe. The lattice design also appears on clothing. The main deity who wears a woven skirt lattice made of jade beads is the young moon goddess, who is often identified as Goddess 1, or Ishel often is shown with or partly as a rabbit. Listen to my episode on the rabbits in the moon for more information on that connection. When more human, she is sometimes shown as wearing the lattice jade skirt and is shown as sitting on the moon, which also has a lattice design. This is not to say that men or a third gender could not or did not wear the lattice design. In the eyes of academics today, it appears to be a completely gender-neutral design, and the cross-stitching design was often an ordinary pattern used in ritual mats and as a complex version of the design in the huipiles, or loose-fitting tunic, which is also seen in Lady Shock's bloodletting ritual in Yaxchilan's Lentil 24, while the pattern was also worn by warriors in battle, as seen on Room 21's eastern door in Kaaba, although it could also be a dance scene. I don't know. The lattice design often incorporates elements that are emblematic of the ruling elite's authority, thereby reinforcing their statuses within the community. In terms of structural functionality, the lattice design contributes to the stability and durability of public buildings. Of course, this is only for appearances. The crisscrossing pattern allows for the effective weight distribution, which is crucial in a region prone to seismic activity. This engineering aspect of the lattice design demonstrates the advanced understanding that the Maya had of architectural principles, enabling them to construct enduring structures that could withstand environmental stresses. The lattice work also facilitates the ventilation and light penetration, enhancing the usability of public spaces. Moreover, the lattice design serves as symbolic function in public buildings, often associated with the ceremonial and communal activities. The open nature of lattice structures has and can be interpreted as an invitation for community participation and interaction, reflecting the social dynamics of Maya society where public gatherings and rituals were central to communal life. The design thus embodies the principles of accessibility and inclusivity, allowing for the congregation of people during important events. The cosmological significance of lattice patterns further symbolizes the important concepts that bridge the physical and spiritual worlds, revealing Maya's understanding of the universe. This reflects the dual nature of Maya cosmology, which values balance between opposing forces like life and death, the material and spiritual worlds, and highlights the cyclical nature of life and the importance of balance in the community and the universe. The design can act as a metaphor for the web of life, where everything is related and has a role in the larger cosmic order. This reflects the Maya idea of a united universe where humans, nature, and the divine form a single harmonious system. These patterns also feature motifs from the natural world, like plants and animals, reflecting the Maya belief in the sacredness of the environment and the potential need for harmony with it, even though they were known to completely clear the forests around and between all of their cities, homes, and temples and facades, and along with covering everything with a plaster made out of lime, which in turn is made out of the trees. But by incorporating natural elements into their buildings, the Maya strengthened their cultural identity and their wanted connection to the earth, which they saw as a living entity and called the earth monster, or alternatively the Hochab, Witz, or Kawak monster, which they depicted in carvings on doorways and on the corners of buildings. The lattice patterns adorning these buildings served as more than decorative elements. They were integral to the important components of a sophisticated system of astronomical observation and ritual significance. The Maya demonstrated their exceptional skill in aligning their structures with astronomical events, creating buildings that functioned as both physical spaces and cosmic markers. Their careful attention to orientation reveals a deep understanding of celestial mechanics and a lot of time to watch and map out the sun each day, and then to check and then recheck the patterns year after year. With many structures positioned to capture specific solar events such as solstices and equinoxes. These alignments and the gridded patterns of their city layouts were more than just practical considerations, but were spiritually significant, as the Maya believed that architectural features facilitated communication with the gods and ensured agricultural prosperity. Their use of the golden mean and other natural ratios demonstrates their understanding of mathematical principles in the underlying natural forms. The Maya builders employed these proportions not through standardized measurements, but through an intuitive system using chords based on human proportions, creating structures that resonated with both natural harmony and human scale. These geometric arrangements reflect their understanding of the universe as an ordered, interconnected system where every element plays a crucial role. The lattice patterns in the Maya architecture are thought to physically manifest this belief in the universal connectedness that includes animals, plants, celestial bodies, and spiritual forces, all with mutual responsibilities to maintain their shared world. The complexity of Maya architectural symbolism extends beyond simple geometric patterns to incorporate representations of the natural and spiritual elements. The careful arrangement of these elements suggests a deliberate effort to make spaces that embodied both worldly and divine aspects of their cosmology. At sites like Kaaba, integration of serpent symbolism and fully carved skull masks into architectural motifs demonstrates how the Maya viewed their built environment as a bridge between the natural and spiritual realms, and would have made certain ritualistic areas to be public and the most inclusive, so the gods could view everyone. At least as suggested first to me by our professor when, as a group, we went to Mexico and Guatemala. Reflecting on this, from around the world, these ancient architectural structures that feature intricate lattice patterns represent a sophisticated understanding of universal order and what's called sacred geometry. These designs connected the earthly realm with the divine, aligning with astronomical principles and integrating natural proportions. This architectural philosophy reflected practical needs and embodied both the old and the new world spiritual beliefs, illustrating similar worldviews, even though disconnected, where the material and spiritual realms were intimately intertwined. While the Mesopotamian and Greco-Roman worlds utilized the lattice in architecture centuries earlier as a reminder of capture and the making of promises, so to a degree, civilization and the taming of the natural world, the Puuc architectural style still showcases the Maya's advanced engineering capabilities, their adaptability to the environment, and the rich religious symbolism embedded in their structures. Characterized by unique elements such as concrete cores and depictions of deities, the Puuc style offers a glimpse into late classic Maya period, revealing a deep symbiosis between technical proficiency, a level of environmental awareness, and cultural expression. These long-lasting insights contribute significantly to our understanding of these extraordinary civilizations' social, political, and religious dynamics. As the old world is so deeply intertwined with each other, we can see very similar ideas coming from the oldest all the way to the later European cultures. Symbols and motifs display what is important to society, to a culture. What is so ingrained is that the symbol itself is shorthand for the very idea. Love it or hate it, the lattice design is more than just a pattern, more than a cage for our limited ideas. It is a promise that we are loyal to each other, that we are all welcome, and that there is more that brings us together than divides us. That those connections can bring us together, no matter what gateways lie before us. The only way we can be indifferent to it is just because it was always there. It seems that whichever side of the world you're on, columns with netting around the top will, over time, mean that this netting will create links and could later, or somewhere else, become gateways to the heavens, the halls of Hades, and beyond, which will be continued in the next part of this. As a dirty holdover until the next episode, remember that Greece and Rome had very different views on the human body. As a child at heart with a very dirty mind, I have a link in the online article and in the description that still makes me giggle. And warning for explicit adults content. Thank you so much for listening to Discussions of Open Lattice Part 2. Join me for another detour into how the lattice design was used in various cultures as gateways between the mortal and celestial realms. For different information on building these celestial bridges, hope you enjoyed, and as always, I deeply apologize for anything I may have mispronounced, anything I said completely wrong, or any facts that I got wrong. If you have any corrections or questions or any kind of follow-up, I'd love to hear it. Please email me at detoursinarchaeology@gmail.com, or you can contact me directly on my website at detoursinarchaeology.com. Or if you'd like everyone to know automatically, please leave a comment on whatever platform you're using to listen to this podcast. And please like this episode and push subscribe or click that follow button to continue joining me on other detours. Whether you've heard my episodes before or if this one is your first, I truly appreciate your time and interest. I would like to apologize for any names or pronunciations I get wrong. I do make hearty attempts, but of course I make mistakes. I really want to learn, so please, if you have any comments, corrections, any questions, or if you have an idea of something for me to delve into, you can comment directly on whatever podcast app you're listening to, email me directly at detoursinarchaeology@gmail.com, or head over to my website at detoursinarchaeology.com and go to the contact page. I'd especially like to thank my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to join them, head over to my channel's page at patreon.com/detoursinarchaeology, where for less than a Tide stain remover pen per episode, you can sign up to be one of my cultural resource technicians, with which you get extra goodies every week, like bloopers, more writing, or photo blogs that are not on my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram to catch the latest photos at Flying Sepida. Sepida is spelled S-E-P-I-I-D-A. It is the family name for cuttlefish without the E at the end. And don't forget to sign up for email notifications at my website after you read a bunch of different articles. I also now have a little shop on my website at detoursinarchaeology.com/shop. I have some stickers and some shirts, but that's about it so far. Hopefully you can find something you like. Another way, arguably the best way to support the podcast, at least for right now, is to subscribe, rate, and review, as this can help it reach a wider audience and kind of get the word out to the general public, and maybe inspire some new people. All the music used was by Scott Buckley, who you can find at scottbuckley.com.au. For the fun fact this week, I work out in the field, so often people have to say, talk over the radios, and not always, but sometimes people like to say 10-4, like 10-4 good buddy, or whatever. I knew it meant yes, or okay, or I understand, or even you got it. It's a way to say the message is received and understood. But I was wondering what that actually came from. I was like, it had to come from the military. But apparently, the 10-4 is part of a 10 code, terms that are used in law enforcement and the military, as well as in truck driver communications. They were developed during the 1930s to allow for the standardization of message traffic, and were slowly recognized by the public through its use in TV shows, but at least we're using it correctly. And sometimes it often adds a word to the end, which is 10-4 copy. Copy is another way of saying that you receive and understand the information, so it's a bit redundant. The 10 codes was implemented by law enforcement in 1940, but was made popular by the CB radio culture of the 1970s and was used in films like Smokey and the Bandit and Cannonball Run. And just so you know, CB in CB radio stands for Citizens Band, which I also did not know. By the time this episode comes out, me and my partner's trip to Asia will be on the final day, the dreaded day of the flights back to the US. So I hope for in the future that I will have put out some interesting photos, short tales, and that I will have collected some really good information for future writing and for more deep dives into archaeology around the world. I hope you enjoyed these slightly shorter episodes, and I hope you have a good couple weeks, and you'll hear me soon. Thanks again.